The Torah is a lot more than a history book. It's a living document of God's eternal wisdom. It's the blueprint for a healthy and enriched Jewish life. As such, the Torah provides us clarity and insight into the challenges we currently face as a people and as individuals. The name of this week's Torah portion, Vayechi, means "and Jacob lived." It refers to the 17 best years of Jacob's life when he was reunited with his son Joseph in Egypt. Additionally, this portion concludes the first book of the Torah, the book of Genesis. Whenever we conclude a book of the Torah, in synagogues all around the world, all assembled proclaim out loud, Chazak, Chazak, v'nit chazek, be strong, and let us be strengthened. More than just a proclamation, these words of strength inspire the entirety of the Shabbos. Indeed, the Shabbos is named Shabbat Chazak, the Shabbos of strength. Strength is essential for preserving and defending life. History shows us that weak people and nations are often conquered and oppressed by the strong and the mighty. This portion of Vayechi shows us the connection between life and strength, Vayechi and Chazak. But strength alone is not enough. If one wants to bolster, preserve, and enrich life, then one must have truth. Truth is found in the Torah, the Word of God. Without this truth, as Jews, we are lost and confused. The Hebrew word for truth is Emet. It's composed of the first, middle, and last letters of the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph, Mem, and Tuf. This signifies that truth is constant and unchanging, from beginning to end. No matter how many lies are spread against it, truth remains firm and indestructible. Jacob had this attitude of truth, Midas Emes Yaakov. Jacob persevered. Despite all the terrible hardships that he had to deal with, his belief was unshakable. He was connected to the truth. He lived a life of Emet. The Jewish people today face a daunting challenge. Millions and perhaps billions of people are rallying against us and supporting our destruction. Unlike in previous generations, this time they are overt and shameless. Unfortunately, some of our fellow Jews have begun to question our own legitimacy. Due to peer pressure and academic influence, some feel weak and give up the fight. They're swayed by the overwhelming majority at the United Nations who call for an unconditional ceasefire, and they ignore our right to self-defense. They are deceived by the lies that are repeated so often and so loudly. They want Vayechi, a good and prosperous life, but they are detached from the source of strength, from truth. They lack Jewish education and Jewish history. They do not know the promises of God to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to Moses and to Joshua, to Samuel, David, Solomon, and Ezra. They do not remember the miracles of Purim and Hanukkah. They do not understand why they and millions of Jews over the generations face eastward when they pray. If nothing else, this week's Torah portion conveys to us that if we want to live a good and rich life, we need to be immersed in truth and strength. We need to study the Torah and follow its commandments. We need to know our history and stand up for our rights and our homeland. We need to support our brothers and sisters in Israel and around the world. The Jewish people have outlived all of our enemies and their predictions for us. We are an indestructible and miraculous people. We are a people of God and a people of truth. So if we find ourselves doubting our connection to the land of Israel, or our right to self-defense, or if we find ourselves offering compassion to those who deserve justice, let us stop and open the book of Genesis and read. Read the promises God made to our patriarchs. Study the details of our holy temples and why they were destroyed. Discover the eternal bond between our people and our land. Unfortunately, along the way, you're also going to find Amalek, Bavel, Haman, Hitler, and Hamas. Although we are outnumbered, with unity, we will prevail. Let the truth enter our hearts and minds. Strength will follow, and a good life will ensue. We must bless each other and be there for each other. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. I wish you a good Shabbos.